enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of
That's
nowhere?
what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hey everybody, I am back. Okay, I am not out of the woods by no means. Okay, the surgery was okay. First of all, I want to welcome everybody into my show, Into the Night with your host Sean Kelly, and I also want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 New Orleans, no Mississippi 107.7 New Orleans. I'm just a little rusty. It's been a while. For everybody who came and watched my reruns, while I was away, I truly appreciate and I appreciate. And I want to thank Michelle DeRoche for putting them on for me. But I don't know. It just seems like for me right now, I need to be on. Sunday night was a big night, and I was in the chat room talking with everybody, and I kind of miss it. My health now, sure, they took out the bottom right lobe of my lung, okay, and the pain has subsided. After the operation, I was in ICU step down for 3 days, and now I'm back. I need to see the cancer doctors November 4th. And which is a Tuesday, so I'll give you an update on that on Tuesday. But it's good to see everybody in tonight. Man, Tim, Mr. Vogel, good to see you. Hey, Heidi, much love from Pittsburgh. Sally, good to see you. Holly, everybody. Yeah, this is great. Michelle, Donna, Oh man, I'm so glad you guys showed up tonight. Um, Couple announcements. Hey, Mish, thank you. But there's a couple announcements I need to make before I start the show. Don't forget, right after my show at 9:15, it's CL Thomas's the Geek Podcast. Yes, and her host tonight is Greg Backen. Okay, and it's an open discussion on the Conjuring House. You know, I might even join in on her show, after my show, just for a few minutes, because it's so hard for me to talk long without getting, tired. I have problems, walking up steps, because I'm out of breath. I mean, it's crazy. It's going to be a long recovery, but you know what? I'm doing okay. And the second announcement I'd like to make, and it's a sad one, back in 2018 on this day, uh, over at our Jewish synagogue here in Pittsburgh, there was a mass shooting. Hey, Kurt, good to see you, buddy. There was a mass shooting, and 11 people got killed, and like two or three officers got shot. And I don't know whatever happened to them, but it was one of the biggest mass shootings in the Jewish community in the United States, and that was this day in 2018. And what was crazy about it was, I remember I was down at DeMarco's. We were doing an investigation that night, and taking my nap, and I woke up, and then I saw the guy who was the shooter. And I worked with that guy for a long time, and it just it blew me away. It blew me away to see his face on the TV. What was crazy is that when I've known this dude, okay, he was so quiet, shy, very remorseful, very nice kid, very, very nice kid. But this is what happens when you get people into big conspiracies. And for some reason, he was listening to a radio show and he followed that radio show. And I'm not going to get into it, but he became a major conspiracy theorist. And he decided one day, Joni, good to see you. And go over to the Jewish synagogue over in Scroll Hill and kill 11 people. Sad, real sad. So, after the show tonight or whenever you want to talk, whenever you get the chance, say like a little prayer for the people who got killed. Okay, it's really tragic here in Pittsburgh. It's happy to see you too, Johnny. But I don't know. It's crazy because you think you know a person. You really do think you know a person, and you know what? You don't. Okay. Thank you, Miss Cryptids. But bear with me tonight. Yeah, Mish, I tell you, says what flipped the switch. He was listening to a conspiracy radio show here in Pittsburgh, and that's what made him flip the switch. Nicest dude in the world until he did that. But so I just want to ask everybody, just say a little prayer, quietness, or keep them in your thoughts today. Jessica, that's her name, Jessica. Okay, Jessica. I every time I see cryptid bits and general tidbits, I forget your name. So Jessica, thank you, Heidi, for saying hello to Jessica, so I know her name. But what I want to talk about tonight, okay? I've been in the spiritual world, the metaphysical world, where I've known a lot of light workers. I've known a lot of people who are spiritual. And what really blew me away at the beginning of my path through this journey that I had, Johnny, 2018, a guy shot up the Jewish synagogue up there in Squirrel Hill, and 11 people died, got killed. But what I want to bring up tonight is, like I say, and I know a lot of metaphysical people, I know a lot of seers, I know a lot of people, a lot of light workers, everybody. And at the beginning of my journey, everyone used to say, love and light, love and light, love and light. I'm going to send you healing energies. I'm going to send you angel energies. I'm going to be sending all kinds of, everyone would send all kinds of energies. Mish, he's over in Indiana State. He's on death row. But he, and I didn't have a hard time, believing in it, that people sending, energies and angels and whatever you want to talk about it to people who needed it. I just thought it was something that you did in the field. Now, this is when I first started, okay? Back in, what was it? 1999? Yeah. And so just out of the blue, I would say that to people too, sending you healing, sending you angels. I like to send my angels, and I also like to send my animal guides too. Yeah. Miss says, guys, I will let you know you can send me money anytime. Okay. Only in my dreams. But and I did it, and there's people out there who know me that had some problems going on, and I would send my angels, and I would send some healing, and all kinds of crap, not crap, all kinds of good stuff, and I would send it, and then I'd get a phone call or an email or a text message saying thank you for sending the angels because it really helped me out. I had a real hard time believing in that. It just, Cindy Mitch, good to see you, hon. Much love to you too. Well, I had a hard time actually believing in that stuff. I did believe in angels, I did believe in spirits, and I did believe the love and the light. Now, see, I was a killer because me and love never got along together. But in the light, I'm thinking, what the hell's the light? Now, this is at the beginning, when I first started the metaphysical stuff. I'm saying, what the hell's love and light? Why are people saying this? Or I'm going to send you positive energy. All kinds of I just questioned everything about it because I was new to something, and if I really didn't understand, I would be like, I would try to ask people, and I'd always get the same answer. It's just the energies out there. Mish says there must be something to sending something to people, good and bad. Our thoughts and words are powerful. You know what, Mish? They are. They're very, very powerful. Hey, Scotsman, good to see you, sir. Sally, Sally says I believe in curses and I believe in targeting. Oh yeah, there's a lot of that out there too that you can do. But I know Heidi and a bunch of other people have said that when you send out that love, when you send out that light, and if you have good intentions behind it, okay, it works. And so as I continued walking down this path, I kept sending my angels and I kept sending my animals, and people were feeling better. People were okay. It just astonished me. But now, coming up to my time right now, when I went into the operation, and I wasn't afraid to tell anybody what was going on with me. I figure since you're like my family, I got to tell you, I'm not here to be egotistical or get people to cry over me and shit like that. And I'm very grateful none of y'all did. I just figured I had to share it with you. And I had so many people sending me love and light, love and light, love and light, angels, love and light, love and light. And you know what, everybody? It works. It really, really works. When you actually, Heidi says, true intentions from the heart are very powerful. And that is so true. Mish says there's also something in the power of eight. Eight people's focus, energy, boom. Yeah. There was a lot of people who were focusing their energies on me getting health again, getting better again. But everybody, the doctors, all my friends that are not into the metaphysical world, that is not into the spiritual world, they would come up to me, especially this one dude. He said, I don't know how you're doing this. And I said, what are you talking about? And this was before the operation. And he said to me, why are you so calm? Why are you okay with you have cancer on the lung? Okay, so why are you calm? Why are you okay with this? And I told him straight out, I said, listen, life threw me a monkey wrench and I got to deal with it. But also in the back of my mind, I also knew it was everybody out there who was sending this positive energy to me. I knew it. I felt it. Wherever I went, I felt it. I felt it when I went and talked to the surgeon. I felt it, the day of the surgery. And after, when I stopped when I was in the ICU step down for 3 days, I felt it. Kurt says, if any ever read my big toe theory of everything, gentlemen said that if a large group of people all focus their energy and attention on something, they can raise the probability of success. And Kurt said, and I kind of believe that. Kurt, I believe it true wholeheartedly. There was, I never judged or never thought, or why am I so calm about this? Why am I calm about this? And the surgeon actually said, we're going to have to take your lower right lobot. They actually cut it. Did I have any out of body experiences? I've had a lot of out of body experiences, Mish, but not during this operation kind of stuff. When I went through this operation, but I've had out of bodies. But I just went in, and that's why you saw the picture of that damn thing on top of my head, the one I posted before the surgery. And I was in good spirits. I was really, really happy. I just felt good that I know that I was going to be okay. You know that? And I was going to be okay. And I owe it all to everybody, especially here, who come watch the show. I will tell you this, there are a lot of strong, loving, caring light workers here that listen to my show. Laurel, hey Laurel, hi Sean, glad to see you. The team spirits of the mountain sled dogs had all paws up for you. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Oh, that's sweet. But it was just an amazing feeling. I really felt that I was okay into this. The doctors and nurses are like, are you okay? And this is true. This is absolutely true. The doctors and the nurses were saying, you're not nervous? You're not scared? I said, no, I'm not scared. It's weird. And they're like, oh, you are something else. They just couldn't get over it. And what happened was the surgery went great. The surgery was a little long. Oh, I did feel the love, Mish. Yes, I did feel the love. And to be honest with everybody, I never experienced any love like I experienced the day of the operation. Okay. It was just, I would have to put it, and this is what it felt to me, like I was on a cloud, and I felt safe. I found I was literally extremely safe. And I was just amazed. I was just amazed. And when I got out, out of um, the surgery, to be honest with everybody, I do not like being under when something's happening to me. I have a problem with the anesthesiologist too. Um, and I do say this every time I get put under. I ask the anesthesiologist. I ask him, "Well, do you believe in God?" And a lot of them look at me weird. And I said, "Yes. Do you believe in God?" And some say yes, some say no. And they said, "Well, why did you ask me that question?" I said, "Because I'm putting my life into your hands with this anesthesia. You're controlling my life and death." Cindy says, "Sean, we're on the same path and journey together for a long time." Yes, yes, we are, Cindy. And there was one anesthesiologist that said, "No, I do not believe in God." And do you know, I said, "Well, I don't want you as my anesthesiologist. I want a new one." And they gave me a new one who believed in God. And then I was okay about it. But I always ask the anesthesiologist or the anesthesiologist nurse if they believe in God. And that's me. That's who I am. But that one time I said, "No, I don't want you. I don't want you dealing with me while I'm under when you're putting me to sleep. I don't like that." Kurt says, "When you said cloud, it made me think I had this visual in my head all that day. And I was thinking about you, and I just seen like this cloud with white and blue and orange rays around it, like protecting." Ah, sweet. That's really nice, Kurt. That's really, really nice. Um, Thank you for that. And thank you for thinking about it. But this love and light stuff works. Sending angels really work. You you can talk to me right now. You can talk to me till you are blue in the face and say it doesn't exist. This love and light and angels and animals, whatever you send, does not work. And I'll be the first one to tell you you are full of shit because it does. It does work. And so I step into the ICU step down room, and it's crazy. I had a room to myself. I had the best nurses in the world looking after me. They literally took care of me. And I know that's a nurse's job to do that, but it just felt like there was like energy was radiating off of them. Now, let me ask you this, everybody, and maybe you can help me out. Do you think the love, and this is a serious question, do you think the love and the light actually went into the nurses to help me? And then, yeah, I remember you, Rose. Thank you for popping in. So I'm asking this question to everybody. Do you believe that all the energy and all the love and all the light that was sent to me, do you think it absorbed into the nurses? Because everybody, honest to God, every nurse, every doctor, were they treated me with kid glove care or whatever, however you say. Sally says love is the most powerful energy. It is. Well, those nurses had a lot of love, a lot of caring. And it amazed me how beautiful they were. And then if I had to go to the bathroom or something like that, they didn't complain. They did it. I kept apologizing because I had to go. And they said, don't worry about it. They say it's our jobs, and it is their job. But they would it was just something. I give a ton of kudos to nurses and doctors, especially in the VA hospital. I will say this until I'm blue in the face. If it wasn't for my brother introducing me to the VA hospital, I don't know where I'd be. I can guarantee it, the insurance I had at the time, I would have never known I had cancer. But over there, everybody, from the janitor on up, always said, how are you doing? How's your day going? The VA hospital in Pittsburgh, to me, is my number one hospital. Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh is like the number one A, 1A. The VA hospital in Pittsburgh and the Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. They're the two best hospitals to me in my life. Sally says, and nurses are already like angels. They are, but you know what? You can get one of the nurses on a bad night. I didn't have one. I was so grateful. I was so lucky to have that. Kurt says, not sure, but that's a very good question. It definitely assisted some way, and maybe it did come through the nurses. They were meant to take care of you. And Mish says, you're too old for the Children's Hospital, Sean. That's funny, Mish, I know. But when my son was young, I'll tell you this story real quick, and then we'll go to a break. When my son was like 10 years old, he fell at school, and he broke his wrist. I mean, literally broke the two bones in the wrist. And what I loved about Children's was that the doctor that worked in the ER saw how much pain Paul was in, and the operating doctor is going to fix my son's wrist. He said, I want you to give this medicine. Okay. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, and the ER doctor was like, yeah, that ain't going to happen. So this ER doctor took a chance, went above the surgeon's, went straight to the big boss doctor that was working that night at Children's. And he said, just give him a little bit of morphine. And so they did, just a little bit, just a tad, I mean, it was funny. But it was funny whenever it was said, whenever they put it in. Good to see you too, Chrissy. Thank you for popping in. So whenever the morphine was in, he looked at me and he goes, hi, Dad. Like he was high on just a little bit of morphine. Heidi says Children Mercy in Kansas City, Missouri. Let me see. Oh, Kansas City, Missouri, but in Joplin, Missouri, there was really a bad F5 tornado in the Children's Hospital. There had many witnesses that stated angels or butterfly people came down from the sky. I'm glad, and shielded them. Sweet, So after that, so my son's out. He's not out of it. He's not out, but he was feeling pretty good after that morphine shot. And what happened was, the surgeon came in and talked to him. And my son, honest to God, at 10 years old, asked the same question 50 times in a row. The same question. And you know what was amazing? This is what was the amazing part. That doctor answered his question 50 times. The same answer 50 times. And when he answered it, he would answer the question like he was the first time my son ever said that. And when I witnessed that at Children's for my son, okay, I just fell in love with Children's Hospital. And so I like it. That's why it's like I'm a number one. And if I could ever give some money back, okay, cool. I give them a little bit, but the Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh is one of the best in my heart. Um, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones too. But I wanted to share that story. But the VA hospital, oh my God, the best in the world, the best, um, the best, especially people, the people, the nurses and the doctors, they're angels. They are angels, definitely angels. And yes, I will tell you this. The ICU step down was very haunted. There was a lot of ghostly activity that would happen in my room. It was funny. It did. I'd ask the nurses at night, "Hey, do you believe in ghosts?" And they'd say, "Yeah, I don't know." I said, "Well, does strange shit happen in these rooms or on the floor?" They said, "Well, yeah, it does." And I'm like, "Well, that's a ghost." So yeah, it was a haunt. My room was haunted, really, really haunted. Kurt says Children's Hospital. I know have few people that have go there, and they all say the same thing. Very wonderful place. Children are like little cherubs to me. They really are. They're little angels, and they need to be protected. But you know what? We are at the halfway mark. Okay, and in fact, I'm running over a little late, so I'm going to play just a couple commercials, and then I'll be back, and then we'll finish up whatever comes out of my mouth. Again, thank you for being here. Let me play. Let's see. What can I play this again? Let's go this way.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Stop this conversation. We got no relation. I have come for losing my control.
I did there I am. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the second part of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I am back. I want to thank you, PRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. Don't forget, right after my podcast tonight, we got C.L. Thomas's. Thank you, Heidi. And she's going to have a Greg Backen on, and it's an open discussion on the Conjuring House. So once when you're done with mine, you can go over and check hers out. In fact, to be honest with you, I think I'm going to stop over for about 15 minutes to see how I feel. Red and yellow, black and white. Okay, yeah, the four directions of the universe. Yes. Um, so, that really threw me for a looper. What we're talking about is, how people send love and light and angels. Do they work? Of course they do. I mean, it was amazing what all the love and all the energies that people have sent me, and there was a ton of people that did, and I could actually feel it. You know. Okay, go ahead, go to the creepy tree, say hello to the elves for me and the old fae out there. But yeah, so it does work. It does work, and it worked for me. And I am very grateful for everybody who did that for me. I really did. I do tremendously. Well, I am back. I'm going to start doing shows again. I'm not out of the woods yet. By no means am I out of the woods. The pain is still at it too, and I still have a hard time walking up steps. And I can't go for walks. I have to take short walks. Oh, you're responding to Kurt's song. Okay. So, like I said, I'm not out of the woods yet. But I just want to thank everybody out there for sending all that love and light, because a lot of people were amazed because I had a real easy transition from, before the surgery, during, and after the surgery. And it was the neatest and peaceful, loving. It was all around me. It was time does heal all. And I do believe, like I was talking in the first part of the show, okay, that I believe that there was just so much love and energy and angels around me, okay, that I think it actually absorbed into the nurses and the doctors that were there who took care of me. And they were loving and caring. I'd like to talk a little bit about nurses. The nurses there were angels. They were angels. They, I kind of saw their wings, but I don't think they knew that they had wings. But they were always checking on me. Even the lady that woke me up at 4:30 in the morning so she could take my blood, and then at 5 o'clock, the lady would come in and take a chest X-ray of my lungs. Oh yeah, it was okay. The only problem I had about it was falling asleep, because me and hospital beds do not get along. They're too small. They are just way too small. So I'm grateful for nurses. I'm grateful for doctors, and I'm grateful for the Veterans Administration, the VA hospital. And over in Pittsburgh, they really do take care of their veterans. They really do. It's just it's something when you walk in. You might think it's sad, but of course it's sad because you have all these guys in there, mainly from the Vietnam War, and Iraqi war. But it's just something. If you could just experience the love that you get when you walk into that place. I mean, everybody from the janitor on up is so nice. My mom was even impressed when she went over there with me. But November 4th, I do have a doc. I do go back to see the cancer doctors. I cannot pronounce their name. Thoracic doctors. They're for lungs. And then I'll find out a little bit more about my recovery. The pain's gone away, but it's real hard for me to walk up steps. I get really winded, and I really can't take long walks. I only take like not even a half, but maybe halfway up my back alley. Then I got to turn around and come back home and sit, so I can just catch my breath. Like today, I was talking my mom and said to her, I said, I'm going to have to go up at 7 o'clock because of my 8:10 show. And she goes, well, why do you got to do that? Because I said, going up to the attic is hard for me. So I had to get up early so I could sit down and be out of breath, so I wouldn't be out of breath when the show started. Kurt says, God bless when you get a nurse that cares, or just people in general that care honestly. Nothing better than knowing someone cares about your well being. You can't on your own. Hey, Woo Riders, good to see you, sir. Thank you for popping in. But yeah, I'm back, you know, and I'm grateful that I'm back. This past Sunday, I was in the chat room chatting with everybody. And it felt good. And for some reason, and like I said, I don't believe in coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. And there was a reason why I popped in to the chat on Sunday night. So I could, do tonight's show. And I want to thank Michelle DeRoche for putting up the repeats for me. And I want to thank everybody for the people who watched the repeats. And Mr. Joe Montaldo, who owns the platform, UPRN, he's just been a blessing to me. Not only he's a good boss, but he's a good friend. These people care on this network that I work with, who are other hosts. Carla says, blessings to you, Sean. So good to see you. One day at a time, your body needs to heal. Angels are around you. Thank you, Carla. I know I need to heal, but I'm so damn antsy that I want to get it over with and done, but it's just not going to happen. Kason says, oh, Sean, maybe it made it. Hello, brother. Hey, Kason, good to see you. And I'm, I did make it. And the angels all around. And I'm grateful for everybody's angels. I really wish, people could understand that, they think, okay, well, I'm going to do my best and send you some healing. And it worked, everybody. It worked. The prayers worked. The angels worked. The love and light worked. And like I said at the beginning of the show, when it started, okay, I said, if anybody came up to me and said that love, light, angels don't work, I would tell them to kiss my ass, because it does. It does work, very much so. So is everybody getting ready for Halloween? Has everybody picked out their costume for the Halloween parties that are going to be going out? Did everyone get their candies together? This is, I didn't do the Halloween thing because I was sick, but I'm ready. I'll just sit on my front porch and watch my brother make an ass out of himself, but he likes doing that though. And passing out the microwave popcorn. I'm not going to dress up. More than likely, I'll stop off because I know there's going to be a lot of Halloween parties going on that night here on UPRN Talk Radio. And I might join a couple of them, just for a couple of minutes. Like I said, I really can't talk a lot. I get tired real easy, and but I'll be on, I'll definitely be on. So tell me, everybody, let me see. Joni says, well, my husband Andy got the Halloween candy. That's good. And you can kick like the candy corn out the butt. Don't even show candy corn around me, man, because candy corn sucks. That's my opinion. I can't deal with that. It looks ugly. Let's see what else. Oh, pumpkin spice stuff. You know what's crazy about that pumpkin spice? My neighbor, he sent over a fruit basket, a Goodwill, get well bred, and she sent over some pumpkin spice cookies. So I had to have one. I had to have pumpkin spice. And I do have to say, I still dislike it. I still do not like pumpkin spice. But it just goes to show that the people out there, giving me a fruit basket, my neighbors and stuff like that. I've had people call me, my cousins calling me, checking up and seeing how I'm doing, which I think is the most beautiful thing in the world. My son calls me every other day. My ex-wife even talked to me today, and it just goes to show what the energies that you put out there, that it comes back to you 100-fold, and it did. Kurt says, my girl got this mask on. It kind of makes me off put. The eyes look all black, and I like freeze. And there would have been before in those eyes. Christy says, I don't live in an area where I could get any trick-or-treaters, so I don't really do much anymore for Halloween. And that's okay. Kason says, my prayers sadly won't work. I've got down on my knees to pray, not to any God, but for anyone who's listening, 5 years of torture now. I don't know, man. Maybe I don't have enough faith. Maybe you need to start getting the faith, dude. Because faith is big. Faith is big. Joni said, Jay Leno used to say candy corn is the root canal in a bag. Isn't that the truth? Jay Leno was right about stuff like that, But we are getting close to the witching hour. And I hope everybody is going to have a nice Halloween. Please have a safe Halloween. I'll be thinking of y'all. And I hope it's safe. And just be careful, if you see a kid coming around and like grabbing a lot of candies or stuff like that, maybe there's, don't get mad at them. Just because there could be something wrong with the little dude or the little dudette. Something could happen. Just be pretty cool with it and enjoy the night. Okay, Sally said, okay, I'm not celebrating this year. Everything is bad in my world right now. Sally, it's everywhere. Oh, I am, Mish. I'm staying positive. Sally, if you want to send me a message, go ahead. We can chat if you want. I'd be more than happy to listen to what's going on. But want to thank everybody for popping in tonight. It was good to be back. It was good to see everybody in the chat rooms. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was thinking of you, Cindy. Kurt says, candy corn, it was wonderful to see you, Sean, and you in good spirits. Just take your time and be careful, fella. Take care. Oh, I will. I will definitely be taking care of myself. So, okay, everybody. Don't forget, Miss C.L. Thomas, her Gateway podcast will be coming on about 9:15, 9:10, 9:15. And she's going to have that. His name is Greg Bacon, and it's an open discussion on the Conjuring House. Good night and happy Halloween, Chrissy. Why Sean seemed kind of down, or is she super relaxed? Dude, I just went through lung. Someone please explain that. I just went through a massive lung surgery, cancer surgery, Jason. So I'm mellow. Gratitude to you too, Heidi. So, children, if you can, please go to your parents. Give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children. Give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And if you don't have no parents, if you have no children, please find somebody and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, again, thank you everybody for popping in tonight. And please, please, please have a safe and fun Halloween. Good night.